Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the MCN for Friday. It's your end of the week edition, and it's coming close to the end of the month, and also in a time when Kabam keep doing Kabam things. What's Kabam things? Well, I don't know, winding you all up. The mystery still surrounds itself at the moment around friendly signals, and it still is very much a mystery all around this. Shout out to Odd Big, who asked the question on Reddit to Kabam, and they got the response of, "Thank you for bringing this matter to our attention. Your data has been forwarded to Mr. Fantastic, bending into the message that they got in game. For more information will be revealed in game as we learn more about this unidentified pathogen. Again, more of that in game. In the meantime, if you've been bitten, going to be important in a minute. Please avoid close contact with other summoners. We ask that you remain vigilant and do your best to prevent the spread of this pathogen. We appreciate your continued passion and support for Marvel Contest Champions. Please contact us again if you ever need help." Probably to deal with this pathogen. So you might have been living under a rock if you didn't know about Marvel Zombies. Marvel Zombies, of course, has been released onto Disney Plus, and I actually enjoyed it. I thought it was good. And by the end of it, sets itself up for some kind of like future thing, maybe a season 2. I'm not going to spoil it because, people might want to see it. And going on to Twitter, X nowadays, you're normally spoiled by a lot of this stuff, like seeing clips and stuff like that. And it's kind of a bit annoying because you're like, I'd love to enjoy this for myself without having kind of spoiled. But that's the world we live in, right? So what is this? What is this thing in game? Well, no one knows. We still got to wait to see like what this all kind of like does. And yeah, do we claim these? Do we not? Are these signals? Is it a bit of fun? Is it something weird? Should we be accepting and claiming them? Well, I don't know. I don't know, everybody. I wish I knew. Maybe we'll find out next week. Marvel references there just by making a faux pas mistake. We'll find out. Hopefully something interesting, but yeah, weird. Also, for those looking for the cumulative compensation, no update. Latest one was here. Karate Mike said, "I promise I'll make it wildly known when there is an update and it's finalized, because at this moment in time, there's nothing." And Kabam have said that they're not going to do a compensation package until they can resolve the problems of the game, because there's still problems with the game. You might have been kind of like living under a rock if you kind of think that everything is fine right now. And yeah, I think, did we report on this one? Yeah, it was the same thing of like recently of, well, Kabam haven't really kind of done connection stabilization, and yeah, because we haven't chilled with the game. We'll hopefully hear back soon, but don't hold your breath. Oh, just quickly on the glory situation, I think there's still some like issues and confusions around like where the rank, I think it's rank glory. Here, Big Blue says, "I can confirm that a top 5 alliance has not gotten their rewards." And yeah, so like, I mean, I'm pretty certain I haven't received like mine, but yeah, it's still like an ongoing issue. After some data diving, it looks like 10% of alliance didn't receive their AQ rewards. Going to have to do some more data spinning to get some stuff. Yeah, I've not received it, so I would say that there's still an issue. It might be sorted out and it might be sent out. I think there was a message, wasn't there, by Kabam in the Kabam Discord server? Yeah, they kind of like put this. This was early on Thursday morning, that some alliances do not receive their ranked rewards from the event. After doing some pull-ups and find impacted alliances, we'll be getting those rewards to you as soon as we can. We apologize for the inconvenience. We have the details. We'll have more details on the rollout tomorrow. So that was the 25th. I think it's 25th. I don't know, because time frames are always weird, because Kabam upload this about 2 a.m. in the morning, my time, UK time, but that's their 24th. So more details 25th, and sent out 25th. And whilst I'm recording this, it is 9:30 p.m. in the UK on the 25th. And there's still no details. So yeah, hopefully this is resolved. But at the moment, yeah, that's the update. No real update. Now, just before we get into the more serious things, here's a bit of this made me laugh, but it made me laugh for the kind of like wrong reasons. So this player, Source Monster, says, "Looking at the numbers on Yelena, I don't think I should have been taking that much block damage. Also, what the heck is that supposed to mean? I don't know whether or not that could be some relic. Maybe not. Maybe is. I can't remember if like in this thing that you meant to like see the relic or not for Battlegrounds. But the thing that made me kind of like, why is this of note? Well, it's because it's Iceland versus Yelena. Now, for the UK people amongst you, you'll know what Iceland is. Iceland is a supermarket chain here in the UK where everything is frozen. It comes from frozen, similar to farm food, similar to Cook for the UK people out there. I don't know what in other countries you've got where everything that you get from that particular store is 90% in a frozen, like, I don't know, display cabinet of some description. And yeah, you just get your food from there. It's not the best food, to be honest. The best thing that like I think they've got is like ice lollies and ice creams, or if you're American home, popsicle. They've got there popsicles in there. But yeah, the thing that made like tickled me a little bit, and it's like, oh, Rich, is anything worth doing? Well, it's just funny because it's Iceland, and you know, World Eater gets it. Usually, a whole country like Iceland can take down a single person. Oh dear. Like I said, sometimes like we got to talk about something really serious, but I just want to bring a bit of like something that made me laugh. Hopefully this made you laugh. If it didn't, you have no soul. Now, here is where where my Spider Woman would be if I had one. Why is that relevant? Well, I'm going to be vicariously talking through you, the community, on the subject of Spider Woman. I'm bringing in experience of the past, rank down tickets, nerfs of the past, balance updates, a little bit of kind of hypocrisy from Kabam, and of course, all of the things you're talking about as a community. I didn't do a video on this on, I think it was Wednesday when it was posted, the kind of the story, mainly because I had some other things on. I had to get ready for the fact that, well, anniversary, and yeah, it's kind of like, I think people would understand why. But I'm same with you guys. Like, I'm just not like, what can you say? Like, I've been here before. And the people that have played this game long enough, again, same thing. You've been here before with this when stuff like this happens. So Spider Woman went through some changes. I think it's been well publicized about that one. Defensively, and to get directly critical point, Spider Woman has been more of a menace than we wanted for her defender champion attributes, being a 3.5 out of 5. Therefore, we'll be removing the ensnare debuff from our kit so the attackers are not pressured with a long-lasting ability accuracy reduction on a regular basis. We expect this change to free up attackers more consistently, play around her other RPG threats like severe power, sting, and fumble. While removing snare will obviously have some effect on the attacker's power as well. We haven't seen Spider-Woman need a solution to evade across her matchup spread. Similarly, the ability actually, and it goes on. Right. Okay. This change, of course, has gone down like a lead balloon for a lot of players, especially from those that may have ranked up the champion extensively for a certain purpose. This is troubling. I think it's troubling because it's when a champion, first of all, gets its own identity going from one to the other, or both, when it comes to attack and defender. The same way that you'd like look at Enchantress and go, was that meant to be something of an option of an attacking sense, but ended up being full defender mode, and as well a champion that seems to be has escaped any kind of like nerf in general. The same way that Serpent has been similar case, and same with a few other champions as well. When you've gone, hang on a minute, they're not being reworked. They're just going to be strong defenders, and some will be strong defenders and attackers. I know Kabam have this kind of like structure of, well, champions will do what champions do. This one feels a little bit different. At this moment in time, I think there's going to be a lot of questions asked on Kabam when it's champions being nerfed, or balanced, as we're meant to call it, balanced, and what certain champions are not touched. I saw some great points by people of the community. K2 said, in the other side, I expect this to happen to the rest of the OP defenders. For example, Dark Phoenix, because Kabam said that in their post, in short, they don't want too many OP defenders. So DP should get a defensive change in somehow. like what Kabam will do with Spider-Woman. And that's going to have to be where Kabam have to have this consistency rather than hypocrisy on tackling particular champions. And this is where like questions are being asked about going, okay, rank down tickets then. If the champion has been prolific in one particular area, is it now an option to put down rank down tickets? This is again goes to a different, oh, well, if we go this route, then what does it say? Has this undermined the potency and the amazing damage potential? I am jealous of anybody that possesses a high-ranked Spider-Woman. Well, the answer is no, because a lot of the time that champion can be used as an incredibly strong attacking-based champion. And that becomes a difficulty to say. Like, if they give rank down tickets to players, then what's your loss? Is your loss based on a defender? Like, if, for me, here's a good example. If Enchantress or Killmonger, two champions that I've got highly ranked up as 7 stars, if they were less potent and I've ranked them up specifically as a defensive base, I'm sure people will say, oh, you can use Enchantress on attack and you can use Killmonger on attack. And okay, yeah, but they're not up there with the high damage dealers of the game. So why would I need to rank down a defensive-based option? Why would I need to rank down an attack and defense-based option? Because I just use the attacking element of it. Look, I'm not saying you should kind of look at it like that, but again, like you can still use Spider-Woman as a strong attacking-based champion. And as I said, I'm living vicariously through you. I've seen in videos and what people can do with that damage. Do I have it? No, I don't have that champion in attack. Am I bitter? But I think the point will always come back to the consistency around, well, what champions are escaping this. Here's a good example. Here's a great example. And bringing back that Dark Phoenix point. If Dark Phoenix is a very frustrating defender, which in some certain fights people would say, yeah, it's annoying, especially in Alliance Wars or whatever, or Battlegrounds or whatever, then a counter has to be created for that champion. But until that time, because there was a spending option to go get Dark Phoenix, I'm going to avoid making changes to that champion out of fear, of course, of what you could say. Because couldn't you theoretically say that if that champion you spent a lot of money to get, a lot of units, but predominantly, let's face it, a lot of people spent money to get, if it becomes a champion that is not exactly performing the best, and you spent a lot of money for it, then could you ask for a refund? And that is why I think Kabam won't make changes. I'll be surprised if they do make changes, but if they did, then you kind of go like, that just seems a bit of a kind of like a dagger in the back kind of thing, because of, I gave you some money here, Kabam, and you're nerfing a champion, balancing a champion, and that doesn't feel good. And that's the end thought I want to leave you for in this MCN today. Where is the line in the sand? Where is the consistency around decision on certain types of champions? And is Kabam's kind of response to when we change something that has kind of, I don't know, become a really OP defender, is Kabam going to create an OP attacker to then counter said defender, which, let's face it, over the last 2 years has been this return back to this structure of things, of sorts, with how Kabam are putting out champions and their kind of logic around building champions, around attacking certain things, node countering another. So what's everyone's thoughts on it? Look, if you're annoyed and you're a Spider-Woman user, are you annoyed about the defensive-based aspect? Can you get around just going, oh, I know that this is a attacking-based champion? What are your thoughts, of course, because it matters more to you. I don't have the champion, so it hasn't impacted me as of yet, but you never know. It's a crystal opening away to find, but those that are able to had the champion or got the champion, what are your thoughts? And are you annoyed about this? Are you kind of indifferent about this? Are you waiting to see whether or not there's going to be a follow-up from Kabam? Thoughts, as always, welcome in the comments. And that's the show for today, Friday's show. And I'll see you in the next one. I am actually looking forward to the next week, get a bit of positivity around new things coming to the game, providing it's not broken. And we'll see what the cumulative compensation is whenever we hear about that. And as well as Dev Diary, which will be next week, maybe. Bye.